next comment or question comes from XP50 Player. And it's in response to the Jupiter-X screen size USB emulators don't fit the hole. A video I did in January 2022. And XP50 Player writes, the Jupiter-X or M UI is optimised for analog editing experience. It is a screen similar to my old Sub 37S. And I would also point towards Roland Jupiter displays, King Korg, Virus, JP8000, small. So I wouldn't expect to see screen gratification from dedicated VA synths like this. I kind of have a problem with the size of the screen. I think it kind of does what it needs to do, but it doesn't give you an awful lot of information, and you have to go through many screens. So I understand what you're saying. And only in the Jupiter-X, the tacticity of the analog interface is what you're really looking for. I really love the analog interface on the Jupiter-X, which is predominantly why I bought it. It's predominantly why I think I might be in the market for a Juno X, but again, different conversation. But I think that a larger, better menu-driven screen would have been better for this keyboard than the interface they've actually installed. But as always, that's just my opinion on this, and they've done the same on the Jupiter-X, and they've done the same on a number of other instruments that they've released. Put in a minimal screen. I suppose it saves money somewhere down the line, doesn't it? Remember, like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Go over to Instagram and follow me there. Go over to Facebook, follow me there. That's where the normal notices are. And consider becoming a Patreon. Next comment question comes from Tortog, and this one is in response to Nautilus. I disagree. Convincing craft work, a video I did in February 2022. And Tortog writes, but the Nautilus guy said KRONOS is long in the tooth. Guess he doesn't realise Nautilus is the same. Nautilus is a KRONOS with a new case and fewer controls, and so some OS interface updates and some updated sounds. The Modi X is similar in that it's a montage with fewer in a new case, fewer controls and a cheaper keyboard. Both of them, the internal differences are minimal. I've noticed that Korg has really started pushing the KRONOS now that they have officially end-of-lifed the KRONOS. Korg tried to say the KRONOS is a new workstation when it's a lower price KRONOS. I watched one of the videos hyping the Nautilus. Only a couple of the old KRONOS endorsers were in it. Funny, it looks like Jonah Nielsen part of the video. He's sitting at a Nautilus raving, but behind is his normal setup appearing in his KRONOS. Or as if you look behind him, you could see his KRONOS. I remember this video. Actually, didn't Jonah Nielsen play mainly a grand stage with dirty loops? Another keyboard recently end-of-lifed by Korg. I wish Korg would show some respect for the 10 years of KRONOS buyers and put out one last OS update. Included in some of the updates in the Nautilus could be added some of the updated sounds and other general things they probably had planned. It probably would be a nice way for Korg to say thank you. I wonder, is the supply chain problems if Korg is slimming down its product line? Ooh, a couple of interesting comments there. The bottom line is I too noticed that just after Christmas, excuse me, Korg were really starting to throw more effort into the Nautilus's marketing. Up until that point, a few stalwart Korg users had been rolled out into the Nautilus marketing sphere, and videos have been done. But after Christmas, they really started to push. Now, what I didn't know, and I speculated back at this point in time, was whether this was to try and start shifting Nautilus, because the word was it wasn't selling particularly well. I think I think what Korg thought was that they were going to release the new Nautilus video, and everybody who had KRONOS, all the professional musicians that kind of relied on KRONOS as their sort of go-to keyboard for doing their day job, would flip to Nautilus. And at that point in time, it really wasn't happening. It wasn't selling as much as they thought it was going to sell. That was obvious. Now, in terms of supply chain issues, it's been a constant feature throughout this year that manufacturers have really been having issues with supply chain. Basically, the shutdown of these facilities in the Far East, the fact they were almost closed for nearly a year, has really caused problems, and some of the production lines haven't restarted. Some of the chip lines, I was watching a video the other day with watching several videos actually, but the one that springs to mind was one of the Behringer marketing videos, where they were actually talking about the supply chain issues and the fact that they had designed product with a specific chipset in mind, only to find out that that chipset has now been discontinued and a new chipset has been put in its place. And while it claims to be similar, the word is similar. It's not the same. So they've had to go back and redesign some of the circuitry to accommodate the features of the new chip, as opposed to what they had done in the previous. It may even be in a beta version with the old chipset. So, you know, I think the supply chain issues are going to continue for a while to come. Another one, another person who's been quite vocal on supply chain issues is Brad Eiler Instruments, to the point where he actually put on his social media about a month, 6 weeks ago, that all of a sudden a whole bunch of chips had arrived, which he'd ordered 2.5 years ago, and was told that they weren't going to be produced for another year. And all of a sudden the production run had been done and these chips had arrived, and he could now build another 2000 S2400s, which is the sort of the production unit, the MPC style device that Eiler has been retailing. So I think the problem is that supply chain issues are going to dog us for a while. There was this morning on one of the Behringer feeds again the note that they actually were starting to receive product now, as in chips, and therefore could start actually putting the some of the synthesizers and products that they had been promising into production now. So maybe we'll start to see the UBXA after Christmas. Fingers crossed.